So second trimester is really an interesting time. This is where you're probably going to start showing. And so you might not know how you feel about that. When do you want to announce your pregnancy to the studio, to your employees, to your employer? That's completely up to you. And I would say, don't feel guilty about this at all. There's a lot of things that can happen, you know, in your first trimester and even the beginning of your second trimester. And if you live a very public life with a lot of clients, maybe it's not something you want to share until you're really sure about the health of what's happening. Because sometimes when you share that information, then you also have to share something if it goes wrong. Of course, we are all hoping nothing goes wrong, but the reality is that it totally can. And the other thing to think about with that is that once you tell people that you are pregnant, I'll just be honest with you, the way that they think about you can potentially change. You do have to be prepared for this, and everyone has their own prejudice and makes up their mind on everything. But there's a lot of stigmas attached to being pregnant and how someone might view your abilities. For me, it was just simpler to avoid that situation for as long as I could, because I just didn't see the benefit really in disclosing that. I saw a lot of negative things to that. And honestly, this is like about your personal health, and it's not for everyone to know until you're ready. So you're gonna wanna start thinking about your clothing though, because your body is changing. And if you do want to keep that information to yourself, then you are going to want to change the way you dress so that you can just keep that to yourself, decide on your own accord when you want to share that with everyone. And so a couple of suggestions that I have is to invest in an oversized blazer. I'm gonna link it, and here's a picture here. I got one off H&M that worked great. And the other thing is, like, if you're doing a lot of YouTube or social media, and you're doing some content that you want out there forever because you're providing value to your students or your clients, you don't want to necessarily look pregnant in every single one of those videos that they're going to maybe be watching like 5 years down the road on lash retention, because that's not who you are all the time, right? So for me, I just kind of invested in a couple of pieces that would give me the option of just kind of discreetly hiding that a little bit in some of the educational work that I did. And the oversized blazer was definitely a winner for that. And it's a great thing because you can throw it on top of everything. And another great one is an oversized cardigan. Looks a little bit like this. You can find them like anywhere, and they're super trendy right now, which is awesome. I'm also wearing like a skinny jean with an oversized t-shirt tucked in. Front tuck is epic because it gives you a little bit of coverage over your belly. And button down shirt, also front tuck with a like skinnier pant, and you can get a little bit of a billow out front, and it just looks like a trendy oversized look. So those are some ways that you can kind of hide it until you're ready to tell everyone. So another thing that is really important to think about in second trimester is your swelling. We do sit a lot as lash artists, so investing in a pair of compression stockings like these ones that I got from Amazon is a really great thing. We'll add that link down below for you too. I like the ones that are just up to your knee. You can get like full length ones that are probably better if you have issues with upper leg vein stuff, but for me it was mostly my lower legs, and I found everything was okay once I had those other ones on. So I would just look into getting the lower leg ones. You can put it on underneath anything pretty much, and they will work like under your jeans, and it's just pretty discreet and it feels amazing too. You'll figure out what I'm talking about, or hopefully you don't figure out what I'm talking about. So there's also a lot of awkward body changes you're going to be going through at this time, and sometimes it feels really weird to move, and your body's stretching in weird ways and growing in weird ways. So I really recommend doing a prenatal yoga class. That really saved me. It like realigned my body. It connected me with my core again, because I had lost like all connection with my core basically when my belly started growing. And when you lose connection with your core, things get thrown out with your back too. And as a lash artist, if you throw things out with your core, then you're not going to be holding yourself properly during your appointments, and you're going to cause big back pain issues for yourself, and you're going to get fatigued way faster, and you're not going to be able to have stamina in the studio. Really recommend investing time and money into prenatal yoga class at that point. And so later in the second trimester also, you'll start getting tightness in your belly. A thing that I found from going to a physiotherapist was fascia massage for the belly. So when your belly gets really tight too, because you're growing a human inside of you, it will throw out your back too. So what you can do is, and I'm not going to teach you how to do this because I'm not a physiotherapist, but basically I get my husband to do it all the time, and it's a pulling motion across your body that loosens up the fascia and the muscles underneath. When that gets looser, it doesn't pull as much on your back. And this is really key to keeping this all going when you're sitting on a saddle stool for 8 hours a day. So I'm gonna include a couple links down below where you can check it out for yourself and maybe research this a little bit more with a real physiotherapist who can give you some more advice. But definitely invest in this. You can go for one session with a physiotherapist. She'll show you how to do it, and then you can get I brought my husband and he just does it for me when it gets tight, because it's a team effort usually. Hopefully you have some support. If you don't, then maybe a girlfriend can help you with that. But getting that fascia worked on in your belly will really help with your back when you're lashing and help you through those long studio days.